And so thank you all for being a part of this show. With that being said, I just want to give recognition to our past president, Shirley, who's also the MC of this event, and Ron Horn for helping me coordinate this exhibition. And then also acknowledge our current president, Vicki Leffman, for just being, just driving this and letting us just go full force with this and make this a national exhibition. So just thank you. And with that being said, I'm going to turn you over to the man of the hour, our judge, Richard Colvin, who is very experienced. And we're so thankful to have him jury this show for us, because we just have, it's just a tremendous amount of amazing work. And we couldn't ask for anybody better to jury this for us. He's got a world of experience. He has 40 years of museum experience. He's an art festival judge. He's very experienced art festival judge. He's an artist. I heard he was a musician as well. And so he's just a man of many talents. But I'll send it over to you, Richard. I'll let you get started with the announcements and going over the show and telling everybody a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Denise. First, I'd like to make a statement about the quality of the show overall. Coming in, I didn't realize it was going to be essentially a national competition, and it really fulfills that description thoroughly. There was a great deal of very good work, and it was a challenge, and there were over 300 entries into this exhibition, and it didn't have to be juried because it's virtual and there wasn't a space limitation for it to hang somewhere inside a gallery. But there were only so many awards to go around, and I gave out a lot of high scores that won't be reflected in the awards, because we only have six awards, and I'm gonna stop talking here in a minute about myself and show you the awards so that the suspense won't last any longer. As Denise said, I've been involved with art ever since I was a kid. I am an artist myself, and I think that makes a difference in terms of the way I approach judging art competitions. I'm a little more familiar with media designations and the variety of different kinds of art that are possible and widely represented in this exhibition, and how indeed does one make a determination when you have, say, a ceramic versus an oil painting? These things are apples and oranges, so to judge them together against an objective scale is not always easy, but that's the nature of these competitions, so I won't belabor that point. And please, if you've got questions about the process, it was a pleasure for me to work with Shirley and specifically Denise in terms of the way she organized this whole thing through the auspices of computer technology. So if you want, is it time for me to share my screen and talk about the winners? Okay. First thing I do is I share my screen, and you'll see what you'll see now is basically the Zoom screen. So I'm gonna talk about the winners one by one, starting with an honorable mention. The last name is Rogers. I don't know if you're here, but it's a painting that's done in a black and white way, which is called a grisaille, and I thought it was quite interesting. So this would be one of the honorable mentions. Denise, unmute yourself.
Okay, right here, Richard.
Okay, so this was one of the honorable mentions, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you're here, but you got
Go Rogers.
In any case, I thought it was a good painting, and not only was it a well executed grisaille, but it had a humorous aspect to it as well. Okay, and so now it's time for the next honorable mention, and that would be this monoprint. The last name is Ross. I thought this was a really good monoprint. Monoprint, as you know, is done with a press, and this makes this a one of a kind. And it's of a much more abstracted nature, but I like the colors and the textures, and I thought it was good to see a variety of different media, and monoprint's a favorite of mine, so this also got an honorable mention. Next is a ceramic vessel. The last name is Smith. This is a large pot that I thought was exceptionally well done and had not only a beautiful form, but also beautiful glazing variations.
Thank you.
Are you here?
I am. I've got a picture of my wife on the screen, but that's me.
Well, it's a great pot.
Thank you.
And that, I believe, is also an honorable mention as number 4. So the top 3 are coming up now. You ready? Okay. So third place went to a relief printmaker named Walk Up. This is essentially a woodcut. I thought was extremely expressive and strong. A good example of a figurative woodcut. Now for second place, we had a really good painter that I just learned was from California, and I'm going to mispronounce his name, but it's Agard. And not only was it hyper realistic, but it also had political content. Whether you agree with the politics or not was not the reason why this got an award. It got an award for its technical ability. And last but not least, in fact, first, is this piece by an artist named either Russell or Russell. And it's a portrait of a couple of people that's been done, I believe, with alcohol, saluting the ink. This is how you get that texture, and it's usually done on a slick surface, either like Yupo, which is a plastic paper, or sometimes on plexiglass. And with that, those are the winners. What do I do now, Denise?
Oh, yes, we can take, if anybody has any questions, if you put your questions into the chat box, if you have any questions for Richard, he can start taking some questions if anybody's willing. I know he's willing.
I'm going to stop my share.
Okay.
So if anybody's got any questions, type them into the chat, and I'll try to answer them. I see some people I know.
Oh.
Which is interesting. I didn't know it was you.
No questions yet, but we got a lot of thank yous. Oh, thank you. You see him, Richard, in there? Good. Yeah.
I see
thank you.
I see a comment from a person I know, Elisa.
Oh.
I know Elisa. Beautiful work. There was so much good work that I just couldn't recognize. It makes it frustrating. Yeah, there you are. I see my friend Lillian down there.
Oh,
The variety was both a delight and a problem. A problem because it's hard, as I was talking about earlier, to compare apples to oranges, but a delight because it was great to see so much good work from all over the country.
oh,
I see a question from Diana. There was a few new media pieces, some digital photography and some digitally created work. I thought those were interesting. I did not see much video. There was a certain amount of sculpture as well, but that's not what you're asking. You're asking about new media. Most of the pieces were in traditional formats.
well, here's a
I see
another question.
Becca's got a question about themes. No themes. There was the work was very wide ranging, and no themes presented themselves as I was going through the 300 plus entries. It was just it was essentially all over the place. A lot of representational, a lot of abstracted images, a certain amount of things which were a more narrative in the way that they were presented. I see Karen asked me about my comments have emphasized technique. Well, this is my purview as an artist. I do look at content, and in addition to content, I also look at what I think of as honesty. I like narrative content. I like to have stories told, but I also seem to emphasize repeatedly in my looking. I seem to think that if one has good technique, you can tell the story more effectively. I see one from Allegra. When looking at sculpture, how does one judge the work? Sculpture is very possibly, with the exception of new and emerging media, one of the most challenging art medium designations that you can approach because of its, and it doesn't show up as well in a picture as it needs to be seen in person. Sculpture, I fear sometimes that it doesn't get its due because you can't see all the way around it, and this leads me to a point about, you know, it's interesting and valuable for us to have these online competitions and to look at work in the online theater, but it's not the same as looking at it in person. I see my friend Lillian Verkins down there in front of her, one of her pieces. Her pieces are enormous. How can 2 inches on a how can 2 inches on a screen ever compete with a 5-foot square picture? These are paintings that are so big you can go and get inside of them. So that's a problem. Or maybe I should say it's a challenge, particularly for sculptors and for people who do large work, is that their work then gets judged without scale being considered as much as it should. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
I think that might be it, Richard. Oh, Shirley, guess we can take this back to you, Shirley. Oh, wait. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations to all the winners. Yep, well deserved. Oh, Shirley, I think you're still muted.
Easy to do. Okay, Denise and Ron and I would like to thank every one of you for submitting your art and then to sign up for tonight. I think is absolutely marvelous. And this is an annual show. We will be having it again next year, whether there may be some online and some in person. So keep watch on the Lakeland Art Guild website and to see when we send it out, and you can get ready for it. So it's been a pleasure having you all with us tonight, and thank you again. Richard, it was marvelous. Thank you. Denise and Ron, a fantastic job. Thank you. Everyone have a good evening.